Hello boys and girls, welcome back. I hope you guys are well rested from your weekend and you're ready to continue with your human anatomy lessons. Last time we talked about the skeletal system. Now we're going to talk about then the muscular system. Okay? When you think of the muscular system, I am assuming that you guys think of the muscles in your body. Alright? So, the muscular system is an organ system consisting of skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscles. So that's the first thing you guys need to think of. The muscular system in its entirety is made of three types of muscles: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. It permits movement of the body, maintains posture, assists in ingestion and digestion, aids in the elimination of waste, and circulates blood through the body. Alright, so this over here are the functions of the muscular system. It helps us move wherever we need to. It gives us posture. It makes us stand upright, basically. It helps us with the ingestion when we eat, when we put food into our bodies, with the digestion or the processing of that food, and then getting rid of any waste that your body might need to get rid of. All right, and finally, it circulates blood through the body. It does that in conjunction with the circulatory system. Okay, so like I mentioned before, there are three types of muscles. The first is the skeletal muscle. The second one is the cardiac muscle. And the final one is the smooth muscle. Alright? I'm going to explain each one of them then individually so that you guys can have a better idea of what they are and what they do. So the first thing is, the skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles include all muscles that are directly connected to bones by tendons. You have probably heard of these words before, tendons, okay? Tendons are basically these straps of tissue over here that connect the muscle to any bone that is needed, okay? So keep that in mind. Muscles are not joined directly to the bone. They are joined through the use of tendons. You have probably seen them, maybe when your mom is cooking some chicken wings maybe, and you see some silver colored tissues, ligaments in there. Those are tendons. Okay. Now the thing with skeletal muscles is that they need to work in pairs. Okay, they need to work at the same time to move a specific joint. The skeletal system provides them with the structure, but the actual movement is done by the muscles. Okay, and the movement is done at the joints of your skeleton. Okay, so I need you guys to think of, for example, your arm. For example, if I stretch my arm this way, okay, let's say that I start from this position over here. Okay, if I want to contract my arm towards my body, the one that is doing the actual work is the bicep. Okay, the bicep is the one that contracts my arm. While if I want to extend my arm outwards, it is the tricep over here that is doing the actual work. Why is that? Why can't the bicep do the contraction and the extension at the same time? That's because skeletal muscles are not able to basically push. They cannot extend. They can only contract. That means that they can only basically pull towards something. Okay, that means that when I have my arm this way again, okay, the one that is doing the pulling action as I contract my arm is the bicep. The bicep is pulling my entire forearm towards me. If I want to extend my arm, the one that is doing the pulling is the tricep. Okay, it's pulling my entire forearm outwards. Okay, think about it this way. I have a little string in here, so I pull the string and the arm contracts. Now I have a little string over here on this side, and I pull on that string and the arm is going to extend. Okay, that's how this works with skeletal muscles. Okay, alright, so let me get out of the way. What is the structure of a skeletal muscle? A skeletal muscle refers to multiple bundles called fascicles. These over here, these groups, okay, are the fascicles, all right, of cells joined together called muscle fibers. So in here, this tiny like string is a muscle fiber, okay. The fibers and muscles are surrounded by connective tissue called fasciae. So here, to summarize all that, this fiber over here is made of many muscle cells. Together, each group or bundle of muscle fibers is called a fascicle. Okay, and every fascicle is surrounded by this clear membrane surrounding them, which is called a fasciae. And the fasciae is a connective tissue that connects several fascicles to make one single muscle. So basically it goes: the smallest structure, muscle fiber, together they make up a fascicle, and a fascicle makes up and a group of fascicles makes up an entire muscle. Skeletal muscles have striations or are striated, which means it's made of tiny sections called sarcomeres. These sarcomeres appear like bands across the muscle fiber and are the ones responsible for muscle contraction. If we come over here to this picture of a skeletal muscle, you see these lines over here that are coming across the muscle fibers. Those sections, these tiny sections over here, are called sarcomeres, and the appearance that it gives the muscle fiber, the appearance of being like striped like a tiger, is called striation, which means that skeletal muscles are striated. Cardiac muscles are striated muscles, just like skeletal muscles, found only in the heart. With coordinated contractions, they pump blood through the body. You gotta remember that the heart is one giant muscle, right? And how does that muscle pump blood through your body? By contracting. Doing it coordinately. That means that every such amount of time, your heart basically contracts and pumps blood through your entire body. Okay? Smooth muscles surround internal organs, and their function is to move materials through the body with waves of contractions called peristalsis. Smooth muscles are non-striated muscles. They are the only non-striated muscle. Okay? And how does peristalsis work? Well, peristalsis is like a little, it's a small contraction of the muscles. And keep in mind that these muscles surround your esophagus, for example, your stomach, your intestines, every single organ that needs to basically push something through is surrounded by smooth muscles. And how do they work? How does peristalsis work? Well, through small contractions, okay? They contract and they push something, whatever material they need, in one direction. So it's basically like squeezing something out, okay? Peristalsis are small contractions that little by little start moving something, and they squeeze whatever material is needed in a single direction. Finally then, muscles are categorized as voluntary or involuntary. Voluntary muscles are the ones that you can consciously control. That means that you can think and that muscle is going to move. While involuntary are the ones that you can't control. In here you have a small summary of which ones are voluntary and which ones are involuntary. Skeletal muscles are voluntary. You can choose, right, when to extend your arm, to move your feet, to use your finger, to move your neck, right? Okay, you can choose whenever you want to do any of them, all right? Now, cardiac muscles are different. Cardiac muscles are involuntary. You can't tell your heart to stop contracting, correct? And I don't think you want to anyways. So, because you can't control your cardiac muscles, then that means that they are involuntary. And then we have in here the special case of smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are categorized as involuntary because you can't really control them. But there are some circumstances in which you can. For example, the smooth muscles surrounding your esophagus, you can control those to decide when you want to swallow or not, correct? So in that sense, smooth muscles are both voluntary and involuntary. But in most of the scientific literature, okay, officially, they are considered involuntary muscles, all right? I hope that this was helpful. I hope you guys understood. If you have any questions, you know where to contact me. Thank you for watching.